Thank you, Twitter.
So, okay.
For making us look like total idiots.
Okay. Well, no, the total idiots is just starting. Okay. This is what Rotten Tomatoes says. The Sinner.
Nope.
Never heard of it? Never heard of it. I have no idea. The Bold Type.
Nope.
Making It.
No.
Making It. This is a dumb list. Making It was that show with Amy Poehler and Ron Swanson.
Who's Ron Swanson?
Did you ever see Parks and Rec?
No.
Oh man, that was a great show.
Parks and Rec. Nice knowing you, folks. This is my last episode.
Show. Yeah, get out. I'm gonna stick my attack dog on you.
She liked me.
I know she
liked
loved
me.
you.
No, she doesn't like anybody, but she liked me.
That says a lot about you.
That's right.
Because we were afraid she would kill you.
She knows. Meanwhile, she weighs 18 pounds.
Okay. How about Glow?
What's Glow?
Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Yeah, if it has to do with wrestling, I'm not interested.
Oh no, this was okay. So do you remember the Glow of the 80s?
Nope.
It was a show in the 80s. Back in the 80s, ESPN would air American Wrestling Association on about weekday afternoons. But they would also have maybe it was ESPN. Somebody had a show called Glow. It was Gorgeous Ladies of Wrestling.
Okay.
And it was basically so ridiculous. It was, you had your farmer girl and your evil Russian girl and your, all these stereotypes. It was just so stupid. It was pro wrestling. It was silly. Anyway, Netflix has a show about kind of the making of that. It's set in the 80s, and it really has nothing. It's not historically accurate at all, but it's just a general thing of them making the show. And it's the first season was very good. I haven't really watched the second season yet, but it's very good. So
okay.
Better Call Saul, Pose. Yeah, I don't know. Sharp Objects, The Handmaid's Tale. That's another one I hear.
Wait, go back to Sharp Objects. That is one I'm going to watch.
Oh yeah,
when it's done.
What?
Yeah, because I love that. That's Amy Adams. It looks like from the previews. That's HBO, right?
I have no idea.
Yeah, I think it's HBO. It looks like she goes back to her hometown or something, and bad things start to happen around her.
I mean, Amy Adams on a TV show. That's
yeah.
She ruined Lois Lane on it, but still.
Hey,
not her fault.
She was cute and enchanted.
I don't think I ever saw that.
God, you have a daughter. How have you not seen Enchanted?
Yeah, I missed that day. Okay, so The Handmaid's Tale, Ordeal by Innocence. Marvel's Cloak and Dagger. It says a lot that I basically watch anything comic book related, any movie or TV show, but I might see Cloak and Dagger. It looks kind of interesting. I did read up on the character, so I might see that. The Affair. I've kind of heard of that, but really not really. Castle Rock.
Nope.
Lodge 49. Succession.
Nope.
Marvel's Luke Cage.
Nope.
Now, Luke Cage is on Netflix. There are a number of kind of it's comic book TV shows. Okay. They're actually really, really good. Well, most of them. There's Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. And they're all really well done. And the cool thing about Netflix shows is there's only 8 or 10 episodes, so you could kill that in.
You can binge watch.
Orange is the New Black. Have you ever seen that?
I have never seen it, and I actually am ashamed to say that.
You should.
Yeah.
You should. I'm a huge fan of Orange is the New Black.
Yeah.
I feel confident I know everything about prison because I've seen the show and I've also read the book. So,
wow.
The funny thing is, okay, so this is based on a true story of a woman kind of getting caught with, I think, a guy or a girl or something like that, and she ends up being, I think, a drug mule or something like that, and she ends up in prison. Okay, so it's basically like, oh my god, a suburban white girl, she's in prison, what is she going to do? A totally different world. And it was just the book was about her experiences in prison. Okay, so the TV show starts out as that. It starts out as, this is the story of this girl in prison. Here's what ended up happening. It starts out as, kind of a, based on true events kind of thing, and then it basically took on a life of its own. They took all of the characters, and they basically made them, they just went off with the story. And the story is so good, and the characters are so good that the book and the TV show that the thing is supposed to be about, she's barely in it now. I mean, she kind of has a role, but she's just a bit part of it.
No kidding.
And it's a really good story.
Now that's the one that Laura Prepon is in, right? From that '70s show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she's in it. So many good characters, so many good performances.
That's great.
The stories are great.
Yeah.
I think season 6.
Yeah,
that can't be 6.
No,
seasons.
it's been around.
Wow. And there's Dietlands. These are I don't know. Okay, we gotta
personalize this up a little bit.
Yeah, and we're also way past time. But anyway, okay. Another one I wanted to bring up was Cobra Kai. We talked about that earlier. It's basically a continuation of the Karate Kid thing. Very good. Very good.
Sweep the leg.
Yeah. It's really good. Westworld. Did you ever see that?
No.
Westworld is it's amazing. It's a little scary because it's basically it's even harder to describe. Okay,
probably because it's feasible, right?
It's very feasible.
Yeah.
Basically, what it is, or it started as, is an amusement park for rich people, where the robots are so realistic that you can't even tell they're robots.
Gotcha.
So what would you do in an area where it's basically set in the Wild West? So what would you do in an area where you could do anything without any consequences, without any repercussions? What do you think you would do? You would shoot people and have sex with them. Right? Well, not you.
Okay.
But that's what people. If you were rich, and that's is that what you would think people would do? I mean, there's various things, but that's basically, it's basically. I think it's kind of builds up. It's like, hey, you could kill people, you could screw them, you could do whatever you want. It's basically because they could.
That's called having too much money.
Oh yeah. So anyway, it starts as that, and then the story. It's basically. I think it's produced by J.J. Abrams or something like that. It very much has a Lost feel to it. It's like, oh, there's a mystery,
okay.
And we solved this mystery,
okay,
and this mystery leads to 10 other questions and stuff like that. So it's really good, really well done. They just finished season 2, I believe. I don't see him on here, but I mean, This Is Us is. Really good.
What did you say they should start to call it?
You should. You will cry.
Yeah, I watched the only episode of This Is Us I ever watched was the one after the Super Bowl. Was it last year? And they showed how the dad died.
Yeah.
And I said, "This is ridiculous. I could have drama in the hospital 40 hours a week. I am not watching this show."
Oh yeah, it's guaranteed. It's basically I didn't even
know these people, and I cried my eyes out.
Right, they try very hard to make you cry.
Probably because she had a Bradshaw shirt.
Yeah. And another one. How about Stranger Things? You ever seen that?
No.
My daughter is obsessed with it.
Well, I have a couple of friends who are obsessed with The Walking Dead.
There you go.
Is that still on, or is that...
It actually, I believe it actually is.
Okay. And what about Lucifer? I hear Lucifer made a comeback.
Hey, you're talking to Funkto too much.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, he's... I'm not sure whether it's coming back or not. I think it might be. I don't know. I think it got picked up by somebody. I think, yeah, maybe. So, okay. So that was us rambling about. We can't even put together a list. That's
we talked about absolutely nothing. but we hope you were slightly entertained.
It's a segment about nothing, basically.
Maybe that's what we should call it.
A segment about nothing. Well, but there's usually like lists and
that depends on your perspective whether or not it's about nothing.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying.
I will put that as the option. Okay, I'll put best of top 10. A segment about nothing or other.
Wait a minute. What's the poll going to be this week?
The poll. There's going to be 2 polls. Yeah, I have no idea. This is you're about to you sound like you're about to lose your breath.
Oh my god!
Yeah, it was fun, but
this was fun.
It was fun but useless.
We had nothing. We had nothing. I went to Aladdin this afternoon, which was fabulous, and Joe wanted to talk about Broadway shows, and I said no, absolutely not. And Mrs. Donut said he's seen like 1 million of them, but no. So that I nixed that. So then We were sitting at Sir Pizza trying to decide what we were going to talk about.
At one point, the topic was going to be best pizza topping. So
pineapple.
Yeah.
Pineapple.
No. Okay.
Pineapple.
Time to cut it off. All right. Well, thank you, Marie.
My pleasure.
This is our historic first live segment, and it's been a wow. It's been something. It's been
fun.
Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Okay, and now for our segment recapping, discussing the latest Steelers game, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about. With me is basically the very first fan segment I did in the very first episode. Got everybody back. We have Billy Bisson at Billy Bisson on Twitter. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. Regular contributor Mark Hagelauer. How you doing?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. And Madrid.
Yo.
Okay, so let's start with actually what happened before the game or during the week. Le'Veon Bell, he didn't show up, and it was I predicted a week or two ago, if he didn't show up, that the Pittsburgh area would go nuclear, and boy did it. I did not expect the players to go nuclear, but the fans, what was her name?
Debbie.
Deb went nuclear. The players attacked him. I don't even. What do you think about how that all went down? I don't know who wants to start.
The locker room reaction seemed totally raw. You know, like when I listen to them talk and get angry, especially the offensive linemen and stuff, they just felt like maybe he misrepresented to them directly, like when he would show up or not. His agent is a total jaghole. I don't know if you've ever seen him talk or speak, but that Adissa, whatever his name is. Yeah, he is totally like adversarial. Like he just comes right at things, and for a young football player to take advice from somebody like him is like he seems to inject himself in this story too much. You know what I mean? Like the way that he talks about how he's guiding Le'Veon and all that stuff. I forget if it was on ESPN, but he showed up on a couple of talk shows this last week too, and he was so happy to be in the spotlight himself. You know?
Oh yeah, totally. So let's start with the players' reaction. Who was it? Ramon Foster, DeCastro, and who else?
Villanueva had a comment.
Yeah, Villanueva.
Okay, but I think it was Ramon Foster and DeCastro. Pouncey. They all basically were very angry. These are fellow players, and boy, did they get a negative reaction from every other ex-player throughout the league. Every other ex-player basically came down on Pouncey and DeCastro and Foster, basically saying, "What are you doing? This is one of your own. It's a contract situation. You should help each other out." Blah blah blah. Do you think they were right in criticizing Le'Veon Bell?
I mean, I think for whatever it's worth, they had enough, and if they needed to overboil that way and show a little unity, not just to Connor but to themselves, it was totally warranted. And I mean, I think there was one ex-player, and Chris Carter, that came out and said, it's one thing to want your money, but it's another thing to lie to your teammates. And he was the one that actually took their side and said, you know, if you're going to man up and say you're showing up this day and then you don't to your teammates, it's over for you. Like, you know, that you dug your own grave. And he was the only one that kind of took the locker room side versus the players' side.
Yeah. I think this totally could have been avoided if Bell communicated to them what he was going to do. And for one thing, he made them look bad. Remember, Monday, everybody thought he was going to show up Monday, Labor Day, just like he did last year. He's going to show up Monday, then everything's going to be good. Okay, you'll be ready for week one, blah, blah, blah. Doesn't show up Monday. people are like, uh-oh, what's going on? And they asked some of the players, and I think it was Ramon Foster or someone said, oh, don't worry, he'll be there Wednesday. And then Wednesday comes, and he doesn't show up.